Oh boy, here we go. Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. Happy Monday to you all. It is the last Monday show until we're in March. That means a lot to me, like I've stated before. I hate January and February, and I can't wait to hop into March because I really feel like that's when things get started. We get vibing, we get rocking and rolling, but thankfully, and you know, this year hasn't been a dull moment for Florida Gators. And I say thankfully because we've been making some hires and making some new moves. And we got some things to go over today. Russ Callaway, as we know, was promoted to offensive coordinator. But a little fun little article here from Zach Alberverdi, which confirms what I was believing when we spoke about it on Saturday. I was boozing a little bit, not quite sure what I said. But I do recall mentioning the fact that maybe he was being poached. We'll get into that. And then also we had Zach Goodall on. We spoke about what the replacements would be for that on-field position because we lost Darnell Stapleton. So the question was, who's going to get moved where? What's going to happen? We're going to talk all that. Some recruiting stuff, some March Madness. It's going to be a great show. It's Monday. Like I said, let's have a jam-packed one. Be sure to smash the like button and subscribe. And welcome. Good to see you. Let's see how the chat's here. Cannabis, the boy. What's up? Hey, Godspeed. Bro, I was just thinking that. What's up, my boy? Long time it's been, man. Good to see you. Happy to have you here. Mitchell, Billy is going to shit on Kentucky's chest this year. I love the imagery there. Appreciate that. Matt Scott, what's up? Gator swag. Sean Nichols. Yep. It's Gator time. Best show on YouTube. Thank you, Sean. Appreciate that. Rob Little. Billy going to do enough to keep his job. Fun year coming. I'm excited. I'm loving it. 15-0, boys. You know what I'm saying? Gators by a million. I like it. Let's rock and roll. Oh, boy. All right. Scott 020. First one in the chat. I love it. All right, boys. Daniel Riviera, you better be supporting the High Top Sports Georgia channel as much as you being here talking shit. You know what I'm saying? No intro, no countdown. We in here. There was a countdown and there was an intro. What you talking about? There definitely was all those things. So when NCAA comes out, I want my first match against you, my guy. We were just discussing that the other day with the High Top Sports company and staff of what can we do? We got to prepare for this. Kind of trying to plan like how do we maximize this NCAA game? Talking about it, getting prepared for it, creating an entire segment / show committed to this damn game because it's going to be revolutionary, I believe. And I was playing with my little brother. We were playing Madden. This cat 16, he's never even played the other college football games. Like this thing is just, it's crazy to think of what it's going to do for the gaming culture. It's going to be nuts, and we can't miss out on this wave. You know what I mean? So I love it. Facts don't care. I stopped watching politics for this. Let's say this is much better. I would think than watching that 60-14 bracket single elimination. That's, you know what, Godspeed? Maybe we just do that. Maybe we just full send it and we do like, hey, you know what? That's a hell of an idea. we get all the guys who subscribed. We want to be a part of it. Maybe we do like an entry fee, and the winner gets a piece of the pot, and we just full send it. And I get a buy all the way to the championship round. Maybe I get a big ass trophy. I don't know. Thoughts? I love it. We'll talk about it. High top member playoff tournament. Look at this. I like it. I like where the head's at. I love it. All right, let's talk about it, boys. All right, let's get it. So Russ Callaway, as we know, is promoted to co-offensive coordinator. Now, we spoke on Saturday. I said, look, man, with us seeing what's happening to the coaches on the Florida staff being poached, you can look at it in multiple ways. Could be just given the fact that, look, the coaches are doing a great job. They're liking what they're seeing. There could be a little bit of the coaches that are on the staff might feel a little bit of hot water and like, hey, here's my opportunity to secure myself having a job, right? Who knows what the reason is? But Darnell Stapleton, obviously the second offensive lineman, he moved on to the NFL. You can look at his promotion, lateral, whatever. We know Craig Fitz left. We now just lost the defensive line assistant. He went to Jackson State to be the D-line, so his was a promotion. And when this news dropped of Russ being moved to co-offensive coordinator, I was like, look, I wouldn't be shocked if he was being poached from somebody else. And it just dropped that he was being pursued by the Tampa Bay Bucks, the New Orleans Saints, the Texans, and the UCLA Bruins. For what? I don't know. But it is very interesting. And again, I think, I was actually talking about it today with a couple guys at work that are Gator fans of like, this isn't some guy that was just an assistant on the staff that slowly moved up. When I looked at his resume on Saturday, I was like, man, this guy's got a jam-packed resume. and probably could be an offensive coordinator or been a tight end coach or a little bit higher on as soon as he went there. But he came to Florida, definitely took a step back, then was promoted obviously to tight end coach, but took a step back. For what reason? Those things we don't know. Right? There's always probably some things that maybe, hey, had to take a step back or try to get his way into Power 5, but he's coached at Alabama. He was obviously the offensive coordinator at Georgia Southern, had much success. It's not like it's a small school there. Again, this isn't as much of a just, hey, let's promote within because that's all we have. I really think this was actually a really good promotion. And I think we got ourselves a nice little secret one here with Russ Callaway. And I was also thinking too, excuse me, it gives me the Austin Armstrong vibes in the sense that they're young, they've got a lot of potential, but need a little bit of guidance. Ron Roberts is the Billy Napier to Austin, and now Billy will be the Billy to Russ Callaway. So really excited to see what's going to happen, with Russ. But look, I think this is a good sign that he was being poached after these schools, and I think that was the reason, obviously, for the move, for this to happen, and Russ getting the promotion. Obviously, it's going to be a big thing we look at heading into that spring game on April 13th, but we've got some time before that. Next up, and we talked about this with Zach Goodall when he was on the show, right? What's going to happen? He gave us, I think, the 4 options. Nothing happens at all, which was 0, I believe, was one of the options. Billy hiring an offensive coordinator to fill in that on-field position. I think he gave that one like the 3rd option. The 4th option, I want to say he said he would promote within, and then the 5th option was obviously hiring another offensive coordinator, or excuse me, a second offensive lineman. But he always felt that would happen. I think maybe he said promote within to the offensive coordinator, but not hire a second offensive line coach. But he's always had two offensive line coaches since going back to Louisiana. And now it appears that that's going to happen. So in this article, again, I'm not going to read the whole thing. You could read the whole thing if you want to check it out. It is by Zach Albaverdi. But apparently they are interviewing currently right now to fill in that role, that second offensive line coach. So we'll see, but there definitely is full intention to replace that. Like Zach called it. We talked about it. He even said, look, dropped another article saying, like, I still think that's going to happen. And now it looks like there will be another one added to the team. So I don't hate that. I'm excited to see how that's going to play out. I think, look, I like where things are headed. I know everyone has their thoughts and opinions about it, and all of it's justified, but ultimately at the end of the day, this is where we're at. So you have to kind of, if you're a Gator fan, you got to just take it with what it is, and you may not like it, but you got to accept it because that's where we're at. So we'll see. I do want to go over something here in just a minute. Their OLab or something like that, they updated their depth chart, which is a pretty reliable source. Our lads, excuse me. There's a few question marks that I have here, but I do want to go over someone on the offensive line. When I was going over and doing my offensive line research, caught my eye. And they have them here as a second on the depth chart. Again, take it with consideration. I'll show you that in just a minute. But it is something interesting to think about. Actually, you know what? Let's just go ahead and do it now while we're here, while we're talking about the offensive line. So, again, quick little update, though. Russ being pursued and then also making that change in the offensive coordinator. But look, let me go ahead and share my screen now, because I wasn't going to talk about it, to be honest with you, but now that we're here, it is what it is. And the reason I wasn't going to talk about it was because I felt like it's a little off. I think it's just more of their thoughts, which is just like anything, right? We all think we know the answer to this. I don't even know if you can see it, so I'm just going to fill the screen up with it for now. So this is a depth chart here that our lads pops out. This thing you can usually, be pretty reliable on, but they don't have LG McCray. They don't have any of the new guys coming in, and I think they're just kind of plugging and chugging. A few question marks I have is they got Aiden Mazzell on the 3rd string. They've got Devin Manuel behind Austin Barber at left tackle, which I don't hate. I actually love a lot because I want Austin to be that guy, but we know Devin Manuel was one of the higher PFF ratings in the country coming in. So look, if that is the case, I mean, that left tackle position is going to be extremely healthy. But all things considered, I think it's a very rough draft. We'll know more heading into, obviously, I think closer to that spring game. But Christian Williams is the name that I want you to look at left guard behind Najee Harris. Redshirt sophomore. So if you go to look at PFF, he had like a 80, again, not enough snaps, but his PFF score is like an 80 with very limited snaps, but he's massive. I want to say he's like 6'6", maybe 6'5". Let Let me click on him and let's see what it says. 6'4". Okay, 6'4", 310. And I don't remember him coming in, but all in all, I think, look, maybe we get a little surprise there. I don't know. Could be a very thin line, or maybe, again, we're kind of surprised on what we're able to get. So what they have projected on the O-line, which is very interesting to me, the rest of the positions I feel like are very interchangeable alongside the D-line, is Austin Barber at left tackle, Najee at left guard, Jake Slaughter at center, backed up by Roderick Kearney, who we've heard a lot of, right guard at Damian George, which we all believe to be the case, which I'm very excited about, and then Brandon Crenshaw at right tackle. That fires me up with Devin Manuel, the transfer from Arkansas, backing up Austin Barber at left tackle. Again, Roderick Kearney backing up. That's great on depth. Left guard is the only position I would say with some question mark. Najee Harris having to make a step. I love Najee. I'm not questioning Najee. But in the sense of lack of snaps, that is the one slot that we're probably the most unknown about. Fletcher Westphal isn't on this list either, which again is the reason why I was questioning the list a little bit. Cameron Waits, obviously, we knew he came in late after overcoming an injury last year, so we'll see what he's doing. But he's backing up Brandon Crenshaw. The O-line, guys, like I said, is starting to look a little better than maybe what it did at one point. So we'll see, obviously, how that plays out. But look, love the fact that this depth chart was updated. And I wasn't going to talk about it. Just I feel like there are a few things missing. Oh, the linebacker room was also some question marks. They don't have any of the rookies on here. They've got Grayson Howard in front of Shamar James at middle linebacker, Manny Nunnery in front of Derek Wingo. I don't agree with those things with Miles Graham and Aaron Childs coming in. Again, they don't even have them on the list. So it's a little sus, but I think it's at least it's an updated depth chart with the transfers included. So that is something to consider. Look, they've got DJ Lagway in there, so it's not like they're ignoring the freshmen. They just chose not to put them in here, which I don't agree with. Justice Boone at third string. Obviously, I think they were kind of considering the injury with that. So it's not full set in stone, but it at least gives us a better idea. I think a step further, a step closer to where things are headed for next year. So none of it's guaranteed, though. All right, let's see here. Let's move on to, some interesting stuff on Ryan Montgomery here. So he's from Ohio. Ohio State was heavily involved with this, but his top 5 is out with Georgia, Florida, Michigan, South Carolina, and Penn State. Right now, I watched the video today with Chad Simmons and Newberg from On3. They're really heavy on Florida and South Carolina leading the way, which or some other On3 guys are saying that as well. Georgia seems to be heavily involved with Julian Lewis. Can never sleep on them. Michigan, you got to take into consideration the coaching change playing a factor on how much they're heavily involved. Penn State, I feel like they're kind of the guy that gets in early, and then everybody's like, hey, you know what, Penn State, you're cool. We like you. You're nice, right? But this guy's way hotter. And so we're going to move on. So that's where I feel like Penn State is in that list. So look, 6'3", I think, 215 quarterback. He's, I think, a 3-star on 3, but 4-star everywhere else. Top 200 player for the most part. Would be a big pickup. I know Ryan Montgomery and Antoine Hill seem to be the 2 front runners for our 2025 quarterback currently. Obviously, Antoine Hill's player, teammate Peyton Joseph, offensive lineman, just recently committed. So Antoine Hill is somebody that we've talked about on the show multiple times and have discussed, the potential of him coming to Florida, just given that relationship and the things that he has had to say about Florida. So I would like to see these guys probably commit sooner rather than later. We know what DJ did. He committed very early in the class. I would love to get one of these guys locked in to, I would say, kind of create that structure. Got a great defensive lineman. We got a great running back in play. We've got, was he wide receiver? Yeah, 3-star wide receiver. Obviously a massive offensive line commit. Would love to add another quarterback, whether it's Hill or Montgomery, to that class, that 2025 class already. I think it would be huge. So we'll see how it goes. Yes, I did see that he is leaning towards South Carolina, so it will be a big pull. South Carolina is making him a top priority, and reasonably so. Tim Larson, what's up, big dog? Good to see you, man. So something we'll definitely obviously be keeping an eye on. I think he's looking to make some more visits here towards March. March is where things will really start picking back up as these guys will start to visit during practice and obviously during the spring game as well too. Will be interesting to see who all ends up going to that spring game. We will be there. Maybe we can pop a few interviews in, get a few questions while we're there. It's going to be a busy day. So we'll definitely do our best to tap into that and see how all that is playing out with this class in 2025. Real quick, before we move on, I do want to give a huge shout out to my guy, Ben Smith. Just announced that he is having himself a baby. What I love about this is Ben Smith is somebody who's been following the show for quite a while now. And they came and said hey to me at one of the games, which always means a lot when the guys that support the show come and say hey, because I'm just, I'm an average dude. And then when they want to come say hi to me and show some love, it means a lot. And him and his wife came over because on their honeymoon, they hopped in. I think it was with the DJ Lagway commit. And I was fired up and rowdy. And they wrote something in there and I read it. I don't remember what I read. But I was probably, a little obnoxious and nuts. And they loved it. But now they got married last December, and now they're having their first child, which I think is absolutely incredible. I'm a sucker for the dad love. So congrats to Ben Smith and then Mrs. Smith on their baby. Go Gators, boys and girls. So got another one in the works, boys. Got another one in the works. I love it. All right, let's talk about this real quick, boys and girls. Let's talk about we got to go into that too. We got to talk about Cam Jackson here in just a minute. Let's do March Madness, and then we're going to talk about Cam Jackson and his thoughts. Had a great interview with Ali Peak. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. But I do want to take a little clip, which if you've already seen it, you know where I'm going to go with it. But, excuse me, I do want to talk basketball a little bit because we are right in the middle of it. And I always check, what's his name? What is his name? Joe Lunardi's, top projection. This was updated 3 days ago, so things could have changed with the win against Vandy. We were an 8 seed in the top northeast bracket, and then we were 8 seed in this lower echelon bracket on the right-hand side, and now we're a 7 seed going up against Nebraska. Outside of this Kansas game, which we would face next, I don't hate this bracket, right? I don't mind this side right here. Arizona, number 1 seed, they're always a kind of like a sus number 1. Wisconsin, that Auburn team we've already beaten, so we had to go against them. Creighton's always dangerous, but I don't hate it. Right? But again, just to kind of give you guys an update of where Florida sits currently, which is really good. This thing could drastically change given how the SEC tournament goes. And that SEC tournament, I think, is going to be absolutely buck nasty with just how the rest of the season has been. And obviously, we got Bama at home, which could be a big one. Look, the higher we can climb up this list, getting to that 6 and that 5 and that 4 range to get a 13 seed or a 12 seed in that first round, it's going to be huge. But we'll see. Obviously, we love March Madness right here at High Top Sports. We've done one every single year. We're definitely going to be doing another one this year. I think we have about 30 or 40 brackets submitted last year, which was cool. Would love to shoot for 100 brackets. I'm obsessed with March Madness. It's probably one of my favorite times of the year. So obviously, once that thing drops, we'll be rocking and rolling. Just keep your eyes peeled so you're prepared. If you guys want to be involved with that and you're listening, like, man, I would love to do that. We'll be posting on all social medias, except our Facebook because we got banned. But it'll be everywhere else on Twitter and then, of course, on YouTube and maybe on Instagram. There really won't be a link there. But love the fact that Florida is honing in on this March Madness and really looking like a great football team. They're exciting me. I was talking with somebody who's a Georgia fan today, and they're obviously talking about Mike White. And they're like, man, we can't close. And, we've got one great center and great shooters. I was like, look, man, that was Mike White's formula. You get one big guy, bunch of guards that can shoot threes, and you live it. And he goes, live or die by the three. That was Florida's formula for a while, and it's exciting and it's fun, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work. And this team, I feel like I've said it before, just has they're dangerous. And even Joe Lunardi said this Florida team is looking dangerous. They've got all the pieces. Just if it's going to be clicking all together in one night. They have everything you need, though, I believe, to make a huge run in the tournament. Once you get deep into the tournament, man, it kind of just is whoever is just feeling themselves at that point, and that's what it comes down to. But last but not least, hope you guys are enjoying the show. If you are, smash the like button and subscribe. But Cam Jackson, and I love this mentality, and you have to have this mentality, right? Like, you cannot not have this mentality. But Cam Jackson says Florida has a shot to make the playoffs and the national championship in 2024. I feel like we have a chance to be in the playoffs this year, to make it to the national championship, as long as everybody has the same mindset and we go out there and do what we got to do day in and day out. I feel like we have a shot at it. And this is where my mindset comes from. When you guys always give me shit, this is where my head's constantly at. It's you're 15-0 until you're not. Genuinely. And I believe going into each game that Florida has a legitimate chance to win. And I want to do a projection. It's hard for a prediction of the schedule. It's hard because you guys know how I think. And it's going to get a lot of shit, which I already know. But talent-wise, I think we match up with most of the team on that schedule, outside of maybe Georgia and Ole Miss. But I don't know. I like the Ole Miss game. I like the way that it's set. I like the fact that it's going to be in Florida at the time of the season. It's kind of late. Who knows where each team's going to be at mentally? This is what I love about college football. Nothing is a given. And it's you never know what you're quite going to get out of the teams going into this thing. I love it. I love this mentality. I know we said, Jason Marshall said we're going to shock the world last year. So it's easy to have that win mentality. I get it. But you have to believe it. Genuinely have to believe it. And I think he genuinely does. And I do. I always believe. You guys know that. I know people are going to hate that. But I can't show up on Saturday in August thinking like, hey, this season's going to be a kaput. Like, I just can't do it. It's not in me. It's not in me. You know what I mean? So I need some of that Kool-Aid. Look, man, I just, I always got to pump into the veins, boys and girls. You know what I mean? Florida goes 9-3. They're a playoff team with that schedule that works. And maybe look, maybe that's what we do. How do we find, like, if 9 wins is the number, Muddy, right? I like that mindset. If 9 wins is the number that we believe with the quality of schedule gets us in as an 11 or 12 seed or 10 seed, right? Where do we go? How do we get there? Muddy, will you really think we're going 9-3 after watching the last 2 seasons? So here's the thing. FSU was 6-6 the year before they went 10-3. Okay? Caveat to that, Jordan Travis is coming back from his second year. Or was it his third year or his first year? First year, I believe. First year, I think. I can't remember. But they were heavy in the portal, made some changes, did some things, obviously, that allowed them to go 10-3 that following year. And then obviously last year going 13-0. So at some point, the tide's got to turn. And I understand that. So there's a lot of signs that point that, hey, it shouldn't be that. But how we forget so easily, you have to. You have to have a thought, the memory of a goldfish. Like, why wouldn't you? Why would you just sit there and just dread about what happened? Like, why even show up for the games? If you're gonna think about, like, well, last year we sucked. Okay. You can make the same argument for the teams that were really good the year prior, like TCU. Well, we went undefeated last year, so we should just walk in here and win. That wasn't the case, right? Well, yeah, things change. Okay, well, things change the other direction too. So I'll see. My Disney Gator mindset has 9-3 with the loss versus UGA, Texas, and Ole Miss. And look, that's for me. If you look at those 9 other games, are they going to be dogfights? Absolutely. Are they going to be tough? Yeah. But I mean, if you don't think that Florida, Miami, like, you think Miami's just going to walk in there and walk over Florida? Stop it. You think A&M is just going to walk in there and walk over Florida? Stop it. You think UCF's just going to walk into Florida and walk over Florida? Stop it. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, start looking at the schedule. Like, those teams, in my opinion, just aren't going to just walk in there and just whoop that ass. I refuse to believe it. I won't believe it. There's 3 wins right there. Stanford, there's 4. Who else we got? Kentucky? We got to Kentucky. Like, if you want to say we lose Kentucky, we haven't shown good things against Kentucky. That's going to be a tough one. But again, they got to go in the swamp. So there's 5 right there. Going to Tennessee, that's going to be a tough one. Playing on the road. They got a young quarterback coming in. Like, I mean, I can, hey, y'all know I can spin some shit. Y'all know I can lie my ass off. So that's the problem, is like, y'all think that I'm just spewing out nonsense, but like, I don't know. Talent-wise, I think we got the guys to do the job. I think quarterback-wise, I think we've got top 5 quarterback in the SEC. I'm not just saying that out my ass. I genuinely, honestly, truly believe that. I think there's some question marks on the offensive line. I don't know. I feel like I've said it over and over again. Billy almost doesn't have 9 wins in 2 years. That's a good point, Smokey Gator. That's a good point. The past is the past. That's also a good point. Jamie Lid, love the lid. That's also a great point. Sean, put the logo smaller on the back as well. Okay, Jamie, I can't just be plugging and popping shit places. You know what I mean? Going to Jacksonville and winning. Hey, better than most. Better than most. You know what I mean? So, we'll see, though. Look, I know it's very Disney Gator, but I don't know, dude. That's just where I'm at with it. And Cam Jackson's going to be fired up now, obviously, saying we're going to win a national championship. At least compete for one. Shit. Y'all thought I told lies before. Tell us lies, Sheldon, because we hate the truth. Look at, I mean, that's better. I mean, that's also a great point, right? Like, What else do we want to talk about? You know what I mean? Like we would sit here and be doom and gloom. That's no fun for anybody. I'd rather us lie to each other for 6 months out of the year, and we'll be disappointed together for the rest of the months. But at least for 6 months, we enjoy each other's company. You know? Like, there's the pro. No need to be miserable all year round. That's just a waste of time. We're rolling into Jacksonville 7-0, the world's largest cocktail party. Aspect, you already know how I feel about it, baby. You already know how I feel about it. Mertz will be Burrow this year. See, this is what happens, guys. All I'm saying is how I feel, and then the comment section gets me riled up. This isn't me. I'm just giving my thoughts and opinion. All right? That's all I'm saying. Okay, everybody's high in the chat. Mr. Nobody just stays negative. Like I can't, like, if I don't know. You know what's funny is I find myself wanting Florida to win more to prove the Gators that are hating more than the haters like the FSU and the Miamis. You know what I mean? Like the negative Gators, the pessimistic Gators. Like I want to win so bad to shut those guys up more than the opposing fan bases. Like those guys I could care less about, right? Like I know they're certified losers. But it's the Gators that constantly are negative that I just, you know, want to, Jason, I want to prove I got you. Please shout out my girl Ashley so I can get laid. There you go, baby. I'm always down for the boys. You know what I mean? I'm telling lies until the fall. That's what I'm saying. I'm feeling a lot better about this year. Good. Let's go. Is it September yet? There we go. There we go. You know what I mean? Like, isn't that bad that I want the Florida to win so bad? So bad. To prove the haters like Mr. Nobody wrong. You know what I mean? And I can't wait to see them too, because what happened? Let's say we roll into to Jacksonville or wherever. Because I don't think there's 7 games before Jacksonville, but let's just say we're 7-0, right? Like, what are those guys gonna say? I was wrong. That's not. We can't just let them get away with that, right? We can't. You know, like there's got to be some kind of punishment. You know? Like, I'm cool with you questioning Florida. I'm cool with you having frustrations. But at some point, you got to just, look, we got it. All right? Let's move on. You're pissed about these things, but we're here now. We're in the middle of the ocean. Let's make this ship float. Okay? To keep just being like, yeah, we're not going to make it. Ship's going to sink. Like, you're miserable. I'm going to throw your ass overboard. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you talking about? All right? It's Positive Monday. Shut up. We'll see. And Tweezy Gators by 1 million. I love it. I love the fact that we're now back into the Lion season. LFG is so toxic, you guys should kick him from the Discord. No, Mr. Nobody, it's you little bitch. It's both you little twat muffins. And it's not just him. It's both of you. You got me cussing here on a Monday night, man. Can't be doing that. That's both of y'all. Y'all be amping me up. Y'all be amping me up in that dang thing, bro. Well, hope you guys enjoyed the Monday show. I always do. Love seeing you guys. If you guys want to also just listen, I know sometimes you guys enjoy listening to the show. We are going to be up on Spotify, iTunes, Google Play, and I think most listening places if you guys are unable to watch the show. So here we go. This is the kind of stuff that I'm talking about, Larry. If Billy proves me wrong, I'll stand in my driveway naked and admit I'm wrong. Like, that's the stuff. That's the kind of passion that I need, Larry. And all will be forgiven. Photos will prove it, but all will be forgiven. Okay? That's the kind of energy that I'm talking about. Mr. Nobody, LFGM, you're up next. I need that kind of commitment from all of you. Perry Mason says, "Go Gators," and Blue Chip Billy, I trust. I love it. So nobody's cheesing out. Bro, imagine what we do with the defense and an O-line. I mean, look, I think that's... I was even talking to the Georgia buddy at work. He's like, look, you're offensively, you guys are putting up 30, 40 points a game. I was like, yeah, we can't just allow LSU to score 70. Like, that's an issue. You know what I mean? Like, that's a problem. There's no questions anymore. Remember LSU went to the SEC championship and came back favorites last year and fell back every year as a new year. And that's my point, is nobody wants... Solid point, Florida boy. LSU, I was telling lies about LSU, right? That gets overlooked. This team comes in, they're 9-3. They're like, yo, this team is going to be nasty. Brings back Heisman winner Jaden Daniels, rising sophomore, and Perkins, linebacker. They're like, this team is going to be elite. This team is going to steamroll FSU. This team is going to blast Alabama. Did none of those things. None of those things. And it's not as criticized because for some reason I don't know. I don't know what it is. But in my opinion, yes, we went 5-7. Can you flip that and go 10-3, 9-3? Yes, you can. It's not that crazy to think about because, like we've always said, like we've said all year round, we were a field goal away at 4th and 17, and I know that's part of the game. Those are big moments. And look, those things are small things. They're big-time stuff, but they're not crazy fixes. Like we weren't just going out there just completely outmanned, completely out-talented. We're not that far. We're not. I'm not gonna allow us to believe that we are. I can't do that. Can't do that. I refused to do it. Like positivity, gotta be, man. Harold Perkins was a big disappointment last year, and he was. He was hyped as Von Miller and turned into Princely. Dude, I was excited. I love college football. I love watching these kids, man. It's so fun to watch them just explode and become these athletes that they become. And I loved, bro, watching Harold Perkins, like watching him play football as a freshman was electric, dude. Electric, because I know we were just watching him in February sign with LSU and then watching him just get into the backfield, disrupting plays. I was like, golly, forced fumbles, chasing down, I think it was KJ Jefferson in the Arkansas game. That game was like 9-6. And he had, I think, an interception, 4 sacks, and a forced fumble. I was like, this guy literally carried the game himself. A freshman, Harold Perkins. That's just exciting, dude. Like, I love that stuff. And the guy comes out sophomore year, don't even hear about him. Crickets. It's just different, man. Everything changes. Mindset changes. You get a little bit of ego, a little cockiness about you. Like, I'm Harold Perkins. I'm not saying that happened. I don't know. Could have been play calling. Could have been a lot of things. Who knows? But we'll see. We will see. Shelton, please say hi to my girl Ashley and tell her I love her, but only a little bit so I can get laid. I already did that, Jason. You should be in there like swim right now. LSU has a plan on a position, and that was something that Cody and I spoke about too. They're not utilizing him to his strength, right? They're trying to, like before, it felt like he was playing with his head cut off, and it was almost like they gave him too many roles, and he handcuffed him, right? You just didn't let him go be him, and it hurt. It hurt them, and it hurt him. He was his best when you just let him, like, and I get it. You're trying to elevate him to the next level and to maybe play in the next level. He's gonna have to learn these things. Give him another year, though. Like, don't just, you know what I mean? Too much, too fast can hurt. Yeah, they changed his position. That's crazy, too. And look, we made some changes this year. We changed a few guys around. Like, it's wild to think how much just by changing one guy to a position on the impact it can make on their career, too. So, a lot of things. We moved the, what's his name? Weston. He went to wide receiver to safety. Now he's coming and playing edge. Looking at his size, guy's 6'5", 220. It's like, why hasn't he been doing this the whole time? You know what I mean? Like, watch him come out here and just kick guys and take names. So, is it the best day of the week yet? Not yet. Over 3:30 here on a Monday. I love it. Who will be the tool? Good question, buddy, on a Monday afternoon. This is why I love doing the lives. I feel like I've gotten away from talking with the comment section a little bit. That's my bad. I got to get back to, because I enjoy doing this. You guys, Muddy always, dude, real quick, little soapbox. I probably said this 1,000 times, but I always get excited when I think about it. When we first started the show, we would try to, we didn't have an understanding of how to run a show. I still don't know what the hell I'm doing. But Muddy would ask such great questions in the chat, and we relied heavily on the chat, that his own questions would become a topic. Like, I honestly should bring Muddy on as a producer. Like, if I could, I would. Like, genuinely. This guy, like, when we said shit, I'm like, that's a great idea. Like, that's a good thought, Muds. Took him for like 9 months to become a member, which is really weird. But all in all, been there since day one. So who will be the top quarterback in college football this year? Carson Beck's a good one. I wasn't a big fan of Dylan Gabriel at Oklahoma, but I gotta like him a little. I like him a little bit more in the Oregon offense a little bit. They've got a great wide receiving core. Going to be interesting on how he bodes in the Big Ten, but obviously talking about the Oregon Ducks a lot with our Oregon channel. I'm excited to see what he's able to do. Who else is a good one? I'm trying to think. A lot of changes. We lost McCarthy at Michigan. Got new quarterbacks at Ohio State. Could we see Milroe step up underneath DeBoer? I don't think so. I don't think we will. I don't think we will. I think Nussmeier at LSU is going to be exciting to watch. Top quarterback, probably not, but I think he's going to do some exciting things. I think Shador Sanders is going to be up there, arguably, very easily. They get that O-line together. He was very exciting to watch. I think Mertz. Oh, Quinn Ewers. Good one, Q35. I love me some Quinn, bro. I really, really do. I think he has the potential. Again, he's faced injuries the last 2 years. Malik Murphy. It's Malik Murphy, right? I always get his name messed up for some reason. He's gone. Can't remember where he went, but he's also a name to look out for. And I don't think Arch is that much of a threat to Quinn as much as Malik was. And maybe he might be a little more comfortable playing this year. And not that he wasn't comfortable last year, but you got to think he's kind of still trying to find his way. New year in the SEC, though, kind of questions to think about. Cam Rising in the Big 12 is very interesting. Great one there, Gunner. 52 as a great one to think about. I love you, buddy. Thank you. I'll give you feedback the first chance I get. I love it. I love it. DJ Lagway, 2025. Heard it here first. Just reporting the news. I love it, K. Ziegler. Muddy for Prez. Right? Nico Malava from Tennessee. That's not a bad one, TJ Brown. I'm not sold on him. I'm not sold on young quarterbacks. And this isn't me. I'm not being a hater. It's just like I don't think DJ would come in and be a lights out. I think quarterback is such a massive leap from high school to college. I think that just takes time. There's a very few that can just come out there and rock and roll. Yeah, Cam Rising is almost like a freebie. Ooh, you like quarterback Miami Cam Ward. I don't hate it. Who's that? DJ Ugalali is at FSU. I mean, you have to respect what they've been able to do with Jordan Travis, and DJ had a better year at Oregon State. I don't think he'll be the best in college football though, but it will be interesting. I think from a year last year, we had such an elite quarterback class that we were a very established class, maybe not elite, but established. You had Drake May, somebody who'd, really kind of grown into his role. Obviously, Bo Nix grown into his role. He's going to be somebody exciting coming out. Jaden Daniels, obviously Heisman winner. Jordan Travis, before the injury, was electric. Caleb Williams. This was a class of just names that we hadn't seen a class that thick in a very long time. And I think we've shrunken it back down a little bit. We're kind of trying to find who the next guy is going to be, which is exciting. I think it's going to be an interesting year in college football. And this is also why this excites me about Florida, is because we have something we haven't had in a long time. That's a quarterback for 2 seasons, and like what 3-4 years now. We've been rotating because we had Emory, then Anthony, then Mertz, and now we're getting Mertz once again under the same coaching staff, under the same regime. So those things excite me. We're going up against teams like Miami. Got a new quarterback coming in, Cam Ward. Going up against UCF. Got a new quarterback, KJ Jefferson coming in. Going up against TAMU. A whole new coaching staff coming in. Going up against Kentucky, they got Brock Vandagriff, hasn't started a game coming in. Going up against Tennessee, freshman, sophomore quarterback, hasn't played but one full game, and it was a bowl game coming in, right? A lot of things where that's a big part of the game that has question marks. So those things are the reason why I am optimistic about next season, because yes, we have our struggles. Yes, we have our concerns, but so does everybody else. Everyone else has things that they're overcoming, that they're having to, find a way to hurdle themselves through. So we will see, but I love it. Great question, guys. I love it. Love the chat. Chat's always fired up, and the chat's in a good mood today, which always excites me. Sometimes y'all be getting rowdy. Mertz by 1 million, baby. I love it. Mertz will be at the top quarterback. I think he's got a chance. I try to be unbiased about it. Showing that the line blocks and the speedy new receivers can run deep routes. Seriously, watch out for Mertz. I don't know about deep routes. Mertz has a noodle. So unless he worked on that, he's got a noodle arm. But he doesn't make mistakes, which that was huge last year. I think that was massive for us. And that's something that I'm excited to bring back, is his ability to limit mistakes is huge. It allows for you to stay in games and be able to make big plays like they did at South Carolina. I think some of those games we shouldn't be in that position. But because of his ability to hold the ball at the right times, to make smart throws, to make good decisions, and not force things, allows for us to be in it for a very long time, and probably games we shouldn't have been in it either as well. So, another great question here. Gunner 5-2. How many SEC teams make the playoff this year? Man, I love this stuff. What a Monday night, huh? I should just start asking you guys for topics. I'd be sitting here just spinning my head sometimes on what to talk about. How many SEC teams? All right, so you've got to think the championship game The winner and the loser are going to both be in it. So there's 2 spots right there. With it being 5-7 now, so now you have 7 non-conference champions going into it. Before it was 6-6. I like and one of them's already taken, so now there's 6 spots. Maybe 2 more. Easily 2 more, right? So we're thinking 3 total, and at least 4 for the Big 10 and the Big 12, 2 and 2. You could see 3, honestly. It's crazy to think, but you could see 3. You could see 3 on top of the SEC championship. So 4 total teams. It would be crazy to have. I mean, not really. Could you see 50% of the college football playoffs being SEC? I mean, we've had when it was 4 teams, 50% of it be SEC. So it wouldn't be crazy. Wouldn't be crazy to think that 16. That sounds a lot. 6 sounds like a lot. I think 4 and 5 seems reasonable. The 2 play contenders, and then I think there's going to be 3 teams, 2 to 3 teams, that are right there, either a game out from being in that SEC championship, and that could be 2 losses. And with the schedule, you got to put them over a few of the Big 10 teams. The Big 12, I think, is going to beat themselves up, where they're going to have 3 and 4 loss teams. And when those guys get into the 2 and 3, their quality of win-loss drops dramatically. Something to also keep in mind, obviously, if you looked at it this year, it's like, oh, look how many SEC teams were going to be in it. Yeah, but Oklahoma and Texas were also up there, and they didn't have to play against the other SEC teams. So 50%. Look, 6 isn't crazy. I just think it all works on how it plays out. Look, I think Mizzou has a phenomenal chance of making it. I almost would count them as a lock. I don't know if there's an odd if you could bet on Mizzou to be in the playoffs, but whatever it is, I'd go bet on it. Their schedule is extremely easy, and I think if they make the SEC championship, it does not matter. They're going to be in no matter what. I like Mizzou. You got to think Georgia's going to make it. You got to think Texas is going to make it. So there's 3 automatically that you can almost guarantee. Ole Miss, they're all in. They should arguably be one of the teams that make it. So there's 4, and those 4 teams don't seem crazy, right? Like you hear those teams, you're like, yeah, that makes sense. Those would have made it this year. Can you find me 2 more? I think you can. Well, who are they? We'll leave that up. We'll leave that up for another day. People like Bama. I'm not sold on Bama. I think Bama loses 4 games. I do. Don't yell. Just say it. Don't yell at me. All right, boys. Well, hey, great show. Glad we were able to hang out here on this Monday afternoon. It went a lot longer than I anticipated, but it was great questions in the chat. Love you guys as always for participating, smashing the like button. And some of you that were able to get laid tonight based on our conversation. Some of you left politics to come listen to this. All in all, I think it was a W, right? I think all in all, we accomplished what we wanted to accomplish tonight. And someone's having a baby. I mean, hell of a night. It's only Monday, It's only Monday. I still believe Ole Miss is still a fraud. I agree. Jay Padgett, Dave Portnoy said Michigan killed the SEC, broke them. I love it. I love it. You guys be good. Have a good night. We will see you, of course, on Wednesday, the best day of the week. You don't want to miss it live at 8:35. Until next time, boys. Peace and love, baby.